Welcome in to House of Horns. My name is Victor Corona, aka Victor Producer, and joining me today, subbing in for Gilbert Manzano, is Fernando Ramirez, who does it for the Sporting Tribune. He is a beat writer for the Chargers. He does it all down in San Diego as well. He'll cover some soccer, anything you want to know around the world, wrestling. He's your guy there. Fernando, we are here to talk about the Rams matchup the Monday Night Football matchup between the Rams and the Falcons to close out Week 17. I usually start the show here by asking Gilbert a question, so I guess I'll ask you. I know you, since you cover the Chargers as well. I saw that both of the teams, the LA teams, have been practicing at SoFi. How cool is that to kind of see the fact that they're using SoFi, and how nice is it to be able to use that facility, because now we're getting into late in the season.
Well, I'm sure Stan obviously built that place, so I'm sure he wants to do that. But that's kind of the advantage, I guess, of the Dome Stadium, because tomorrow it's supposed to rain in LA. I think, right, still.
Yeah,
So the Chargers won't have to face anything with the weather. The Rams obviously are going to Atlanta. It's a Dome Stadium, so I'm I think that's the good part about having a Dome Stadium, is that when it comes to the elements, if you're not going to face them over the weekend in a game, then why do you need to face them there? So I think it's good for the Rams to kind of get back in the Dome, get a sense of things. But I also think this layoff has been very good for the Rams. I mean, I think they kind of needed a little bit of a break, especially after what happened with Puka. And obviously Sean McVay was heated. That I had never seen him that fired up in a press conference after that game. So I think what they needed was this little break. Go get your stuff in order, come back and get ready and get focused, because this game, I mean, there's a lot kind of writing on this game from two aspects, Vic, and I'm
yep.
sure you're going to get into it. From one aspect, it's the draft, your draft status, obviously, and then the other part is Seattle could let up. I mean, they're playing the Panthers, and I know they've done well in those 10 a.m. games, but they could let up, and that could be a way for the Rams to kind of get back in there. But yeah, this is a big game for the Rams. I don't think this game is being nearly talked about as big as other games are, to be honest. And
And I mean,
Sunday and Monday.
yeah, and it's a Monday night game too as well. So this will be their last, if unless that Cardinals game isn't getting flexed out to Sunday Night Football. So this will be their last primetime game before the playoffs. So something to kind of help Matthew Stafford push towards an MVP award. But we'll get into that. Fernando, we have a great show here. We're gonna as we usually do, we'll get to our latest news and notes, plus storylines for both teams going into this matchup. And lastly, we'll give our game predictions. And Fernando, I'm pretty much just gonna skip the what our usual engagement question is. So I'm just gonna ask people, hey, what is the key to a Rams win? So let us know over the Falcons. And I want to get right into asking you. I'm gonna get right into Rams news and notes here, Fernando, because I know it's been almost a week and a half, it seems like, since the Rams played. As you said, they've had a nice little layoff. But since we've been gone, Fernando, we got the news that Rams fired special teams coordinator Chase Blackburn. It's the first in-season coaching change in the Sean McVay era. And McVay said that he informed Blackburn of his decision to part ways after the Seahawks game. So pretty much on Friday, after that Thursday night game, Ben Kodwitka steps into the special teams coordinator role. Matt Harper will join the staff as an assistant. Harper is a former Eagles special teams assistant. And then McVay was asked, Fernando, why was this the moment to make this first season coaching change with the Rams? And he said, what it really boiled down to was the confidence that I have in this football team and where I think we can head and where I think the areas of improvement are needed. So it was something we had been talking about all season long, Fernando, Gilbert and I, in terms of special teams. We also talked about the secondary, but whether it was the kicking issues, whether it was the coverage issues, um, getting block kicks against the Eagles. It's been an issue for most of the season. So where are you, like, what was your takeaway when you heard about them, firing? When were you surprised that he fired the special teams coordinator this late in the season?
I mean, you're 2 weeks away from the season ending, and that's when you decided to make that move, and you're kinda like, "Wow," especially because kicker's been an issue. They've had issues, like you said, on special teams all season. I think I saw one of the guys that covers the Rams posted that all 4 losses, there was a special teams, error in each of those games that cost them, points or whatever you want. But I was surprised that McVay did it. But now hearing what McVay said, that makes you think that McVay, I mean, obviously all 14 coaches going into the playoffs see that they have an opportunity to make it to the Super Bowl. But that just tells me that Sean looked at his team and said, man, we are a special teams error away from either winning a Super Bowl game or losing, or not a Super Bowl game, a playoff game. So I think he said, you know what, the best choice is just to shore it up, get somebody else in there, a different voice. Sometimes, when they make coaching fires or whatever, there's always a jolt. A team kind of gets a jolt from something that when a firing happens like that. So I'm sure that's what McVay wants to create. Like, hey, guys, we need you guys stepping up. We need special teams to be better, and I feel like that was the little jolt that he's trying to give it. But I'm sure McVay sees it as the way we've kind of seen it. Vic, you, Gilbert, Dan, and I have spoken about it, especially these last few weeks. The NFC is wide open. I mean, anybody
Oh,
could
yeah.
really take that conference. I think in the AFC, you kind of see it as 2 or 3 teams that are probably the strongest. But really, a 7th seed in the NFC could pop up and jump up and probably grab this thing. So I'm sure McVay's looking at it like that, and he's like, "Hey, we need to do what we can. Need to shore up this special teams to be able to be legit." So I'm sure that was McVay's thinking. But I mean, to do it 2 weeks before the season's up, that is very telling in what McVay thought about his team, and obviously he thinks they are very close and taking that next step forward. So I give him credit. I mean, most people would have just hung on to the special teams coach and been like, all right, let's just write it out and see what happens. But for McVay to make this move, it means that that special teams has been pissing him off all season.
Yeah, and I told Gilbert, you start with the players, right? They released Josh Carty, the kicker, who they
Yeah.
spent a draft pick on, and then they brought in Mavis, the kicker there, and then the next thing was, okay, let's see what happens the rest of the way, and then the fact that you allow a 58-yard punt return to Shaheed, and then your kicker misses a field goal there when you most need it. I think that was the last straw for him, and so
Yeah.
to see him, and that's the other thing too. That one of the things that Gilbert has talked about is, you know, you're either the CEO or you're the play caller, and it's hard to do both and expect to have the results when you have someone in Sean McVay who also calls plays. If you don't have, he's relying on the other coaches to do their job. If they're not doing their job, then he's going to make the final decision. So at that point, you left him no choice. He was like, okay, I've done as much as I can to give you as much of a leash. Now it's time for me to let you go and bring someone else, because my end of the bargain, I'm taking care of here with the offense. The offense is clicking, but at the same time, it just feels, and I've been critical of this, that there was, because of the whole special teams fiasco against the Seahawks, it took away from the fact that and you also add the Puka stuff, like the game management was bad. And again, he blew the lead there, Fernando. That was on him. So in a way, he gets to clean his hands and be like, okay, well, one of the problems I've taken care of, guys. So now, if something else happens, you know where to come, or you know who to blame next. So the next thing, Fernando is going to be, on Sean McVay, because special teams, and now unless he fires the secondary coach who he gave a game ball to against the Lions, which we were talking about that on our text exchange. I didn't understand that, but like I said, now it comes down to Sean McVay, and you don't have any more excuses here.
Yeah, no, and the thing is, and Gilbert and I have both seen it with Brandon Staley about you're a hot shot, a former Rams defensive coordinator, but you're a hot shot coming in, and everybody sees you, and can you be a good boss? Can you be a guy that goes into the special teams room, into the defensive room, into the offensive meetings? Can you go into all those meetings and make decisions, or are you just going to chill on the offensive side of things and not really involve yourself in other ones? I think McVay, from what I understand from talking about it with Eric and Gilbert and other people that cover the beat, they tell me that Sean's really good at all that stuff. So that, I mean, obviously here he had to make this tough decision, but yeah, that's Vic. I mean, the one thing I wish they wouldn't show on their post game celebrations is who they give game balls to, because there's always times where you're looking and you're like, why are you giving that person a game ball? Like, we all know, like, that player's not playing well, or this or that. Like, it's just one of those things where they do it to hype it up and to kind of take the heat off of that individual or that player or that GM or whatever you want. But I agree with you. I mean, Sean needed to make this decision. He made it, and now let's see what he's going to do. But I mean, this team is the Rams should be one of the top teams. I mean, I'm very surprised. I know I picked them, the Seahawks, to win, but I didn't think they were going to win that game even without Devontae. I thought, no, the Rams are too good to be able to lose. But I mean, it's one of those things where the Seahawks just didn't give up, and the Rams kind of took their foot. And that's what I've been telling you guys all season. I feel like there's times in games where the Rams take their foot off the gas, and I'm kind of like, why don't they just like either pull a Bill Belichick, run up the score on somebody, and then pull all your guys, or I don't know, because like there was the Seahawks game, the first Seahawks game. I was there at SoFi, and I'm like, why are they letting the Seahawks hang around? Like, why can't you just end them? Because the only two times that the Rams scored, or 2 out of the 3 touchdowns, 2 of them were on Sam Darnold interceptions that they brought back to like the goal line. So kind of like, why aren't you putting this team away? Just end them. Like, what why are you letting? And then obviously that missed kick at the end kind of helped them, but no, I definitely think that this Rams team is very is very good. I mean, I did not know. If you would have asked me right now, does Kyren have over 1,000 yards? I would have told you probably not, but I'm surprised. I mean, he's been really good. Then Blake Corum's really turned a corner with them as well. He's close to 700 yards. So I think they have a 2 good back system. They have 2 good receivers. They have 3, I think, really solid tight ends that are starting to kind of get it going. So they have a good team for sure. I think it's more the defense when they play prevent is what keeps them in the. Well, yeah, that is true too. Like when you play prevent like the way they were, I mean, that's gonna hurt you as well. But yeah.
I'm with ESG there. All right, let me continue on here with the news and notes. I'll be quick here. The Rams expect to open Quinn Lake's practice window next week. Rams defense EPA per play rankings with and without Lake. With him, they were in rush. They were 3rd. Without him, they're 20th in drop back. They were 3rd, and now they're 11 without him. So he's been a big. They've really missed Quinn Lake's presence on the field. He's their captain. He was their green dot last year. And so he's a big leader. Hopefully they bring him back to Fernando. He is a free agent at the end of the season. The Rams have also designated cornerback Roger McCreary to return to practice. McVay said that they opened McCreary's window with the intentions of him being able to play. So it looks like he should be able to go. Roger McCreary should be able to go against the Falcons. Tight end Tyler Higbee and offensive lineman Rob Havenside will not be activated from IR this week. McVay said they are not quite ready yet. And then one last thing here, Fernando. The Rams have 4 Pro Bowlers: Matthew Stafford, Puka Nacua, Byron Young, and Jared Verse. Jared Verse is his 2nd in a row. Byron Young gets his 1st Pro Bowl. Matthew Stafford and Puka Nacua will be the starters. It sounds like Byron Young and Jared Verse will be reserves. So good on the Rams for getting 2.
No Devontae?
I didn't see Devontae on there.
14 touchdowns. Are we serious? But
Yeah,
789 yards. I
it's
get
weird.
it, but
And we can get into the whole. We can get into the whole Pro Bowl system. The fact that someone you cover
Joe Alt.
in alt getting a
Yeah.
Pro Bowl selection, even though he played what 7 games.
Yeah,
I
6. No,
mean,
he played 6 games, but only 4 of them did he
yeah,
finish. So
yeah.
no, I completely agree. I mean, when I saw Joe Alt's name, I'm like, is this because they've seen Herbert take the beating that he's taken, and they're
Yeah.
like, okay, yeah, let's give Joe Alt a nod. But
I mean,
that
don't
was
get me
weird.
wrong. The 6 games he played, he was.
Oh yeah, no, I completely. But like Devontae this year has been an end zone machine, and that's what the Rams have kind of been missing because obviously last year we saw it that because Cooper's level had kind of gone down, everybody was targeting Puka when they get in the red zone. And now that these guys are now that they have Devontae scoring 14 touchdowns is ridiculous for him. Like that he could. No, oh no, he's out for the year. Never mind. So, or they haven't said that, right?
But that
Is he
Devontae's
coming?
out for. No,
Yeah,
he's
for the
coming
rest.
back.
No,
Yeah,
but
like
for the playoffs, right?
right. Yeah, but
Yeah.
remember, like that was our big talking point. Was like part of the reason you wanted the number one seed was so you could rest that use that bye week to give him an extra week because even this season he's just been giving veteran days off on Wednesdays and Thursdays, but he's been ready to go on Sundays or Mondays or whenever.
That's what smart head coaches do. You let these
Yeah.
guys sit and they don't need to practice. I mean, Devontae, what practice hasn't he seen? I mean, he's seen everything.
Yeah.
So I completely agree.
Yeah. All right, Fernando. Let's get to the Rams and Falcons Week 17 storylines here, and I kind of want to talk about and I like what this from AMS was saying here. He says that it's the best that the Bears lose to the 49ers because they play the Lions the last week of the season, and we need them to lose one to get the number 1 seed. So yeah, you need a lot of help, and that's why that Seahawks and that Carolina loss are just huge. And Carolina must beat the Seahawks to win decision and get the number 1 seed. So you need a lot of help if you're the Rams here. But I guess my question to you, Fernando, here in terms of, let's start off with the Rams in terms of their storylines. If you're McVay, how do you play the rest of the season here? How do you play with those 2 games? You have to win these last 2 games, or do you wait till the last game and see, hey, well, depending on where we're at, do I rest guys? How do you go about it? I guess you want to win this game against the Falcons and then go from there, I guess. But how do you play it if you're the Rams? Do you just you settle for the number 5 and take your chances with either the Bucks or the Panthers in the first round?
You never settle, but
Yeah. Yeah.
I'd go at this game hard. You play this game, you go out there, you leave it all on the field, and then you reevaluate after the week's up. If the Seahawks did not lose, if nothing kind of went your way, then next week might as well sit Matthew. Matthew does not need to play next week, no matter unless the number 1 seed's up for grabs, then he needs to play. But I wouldn't play him. I wouldn't play Puna Ford. I wouldn't play some of these other guys just because you want to get ready for the playoffs. And it seems like McVay's system has worked in the past where guys sit and they're ready, obviously, for the first game. But I definitely think that they do need to reevaluate after this is over and see, because I know that they have the whole but like the 49ers keep on winning. If the 49ers, that's the thing, the 49ers beat the Bears this weekend and then the Seahawks beat the Panthers, I mean, you basically need to just gear up and get ready for the playoffs. But because honestly, the way Arizona's playing, your backups Jimmy G could beat Arizona. I just don't know if he'd go Jimmy G or if he'd go. I know in the past he's like going with Stenson, but Jimmy G could definitely beat the Arizona Cardinals with guys. Obviously, Puka would not play. I think these young tight ends should play. I think they should get a little bit more some playing time. I think Kyron should get maybe a quarter, and then that's it. But then if you lose this game, against the Falcons, and yeah, against Arizona, you're not playing anybody. You might as well should just bring guys up from the practice squad and let them play, because there's no reason you should be risking any of these players. But that's kind of mine. I've always liked that McVay sits guys in the last game of the season if there's nothing to play for, just because I want to see he knows how important the playoffs is. He knows that they kind of need a rest, especially like the Rams. I mean, their bye week was what, back in October?
Yeah, it was week 6.
Yeah, so you haven't had a bye week in a long time. For some of these guys, give them a bye week, and if anything, up the practice intensity. Let these guys practice a little bit harder. Then obviously you sit a lot of these guys, because Matthew you should put in that hyperbolic time chamber thing. Haul that thing back over to where the Rams facility is. Put him in there for a couple days and let him get going, because Matthew's going to be the key. I mean, the dude's on fire right now. Like I know, even though technically he had a bad game against the Seahawks, I thought he had a great game, and I think he's had a great season. 4,100 passing yards, 40 touchdowns, only 5 picks. He's only been sacked 19 times. Like, the guy's been on fire. Puka, 1,500 yards, 8 touchdowns. On the other side, Devontae with 14 touchdowns. Like, these guys have found all kinds of players. And then Tutu Atwell, I think he just returned, right?
Yeah, he just got back.
Yeah,
he's not a player Gilbert likes.
He's not? Because he's good for one play, right?
Yeah, that's what he says. Yeah. He's tired. He's been waiting on Tutu to hit, and when he covered the team in 22, he was like, he hasn't done anything. I'm tired of waiting for Tutu.
Yeah, no, Gilbert and I'll remember this one. The Chargers had a guy, Jalen Guyton. He was good for one catch a game.
Yeah,
that's exactly what it. But Tutu's catch usually ends up being on a big third down or something.
Well, they won the Colts game because of him. He had that walk off. Yeah,
exactly. So like, I mean, you kind of need a guy like that in the perfect situation. But yeah, that's what I would do. I would just gear up, get ready for the playoffs. I mean, the Rams aren't a team that need home field advantage. The Rams are a well-coached team that can go on the road and beat anybody anywhere. They don't need home field advantage. The one misconception I think teams have about the Chargers and the Rams is that they're West Coast teams, so they can't go into a cold environment and win. I feel like both of these teams could go into a cold environment and win. It's just going to be on their backs to kind of do that stuff. And again, I think Matthew's playing at a way higher level this year than he was at this point last year. So I think that's definitely going to help. But yeah, just McVay, keep on doing what you're doing. That.
Yeah, and you're right. I think with the misconception with both of these teams, the two LA teams, is because I think that, to your point, they both have really good hard throwing quarterbacks that can get the ball through the wind or through the snow or whatever it is. And so that's the difference, is when you have a Herbert and you have a Stafford, you can get the ball through the elements, especially if you have to go. That's why that game was so close last year between the Eagles and the Rams, is because you have someone like Stafford, who's also played in those bad condition games, because he played all those years in Detroit. So there's that as well
too.
Yeah. So let me ask you, in terms of the Falcons here, before we get, and I love Brian Smith. Brian Smith's one of our guys here. He says Cody Schrader was just cut by Denver. He was on the practice squad. He's one of those guys that certain, you know how you were talking about how there's players that fans really love, and then they get cut and they're like, hey, why didn't we keep them? That's one of the players for that's not a player Brian talked about, but it was one of the ones that fans were like, oh man, we should keep them, and blah blah blah.
I was telling a buddy of mine the other day, a beat writer too. I'm like, we should keep the names of all these players so that fans down the line go, oh shit, yeah, we were wrong. Like, just be like, hey, don't forget, this is so and so. Oh yeah, okay, yeah, you guys are right. So
yeah, for the Rams, it was McCutcheon.
I remember that
Montana,
name.
And
the receiver.
The receiver.
Yeah. I saw him during training camp, and I remember, I think I was with Gilbert and with Omar Ruiz, and like, fans were, oh my god, like, McCutcheon's so good, and I'm kind of like, but nobody picked him up, right?
Well, no. I mean, he got cut by the Rams. I think last year.
Oh
and
yeah,
haven't heard about him. I don't even know if he's even on a practice squad. I have not heard his name at all.
No, Guyton. That was a guy on the Chargers.
There
T
was that. What was
T
it? T
Billy.
Billy was the other one for the
Yeah,
Chargers.
T Billy. That was the one that everybody was mad at when the Chargers cut him, and he ended up not doing anything after that. So,
Yeah.
funny stuff. But yeah. So, what were we gonna do?
Yeah, I was gonna ask you about now turning to the Falcons here, and where is Willie Lampkin? Willie Lampkin was on IR and just got he was just added to the, if I'm not mistaken, and you can check me on that. He was added to the Eagles roster. He might still be on their practice squad, but he was another one that a lot of people like as a center this during preseason, but he was cut, and then they were hoping to bring him back, but the Eagles picked him up, which was smart by them. I know he's on the Eagles roster, but he might be on their practice squad.
He is on the Eagles. Let me see. Yeah, on the practice squad.
Yeah, he's on their practice squad. Yeah, he was on IR, and he was reinstated from IR a couple of weeks ago. I did see that. But in terms of the Falcons, how big is this game for them? Because if they lose this game, that means the Rams continue to climb in terms of that draft pick. And then we had a good conversation, and shout out to Brian, because who was on our betting show. We were talking about it when we were talking about the line there. Do you see McVay trying to blow out the Falcons, or do you think that he'll try to make sure that it stays close so they don't fire Raheem Morris, because he's one that hasn't really worked out. That's been from his coaching tree, I guess.
Well, right now the Atlanta Falcons are at the 12th pick.
Yep. So if you beat them,
I'm sure
it would be a top
and they
10
drop
pick.
in. So I think, and it depends on what the Rams are going to want to do. I mean, do they want Fernando Mendoza, or are they gonna just for the future, or are they going to be?
If you ask Rams fans, they want a corner.
Yeah, a corner.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I think I think McVay can't. There's no friends when you get when it's time to go on the field. I think McVay needs to go in there and play his best game. I mean, your team is now being questioned after being a Super Bowl favorite. That's how quickly the season changes. After being a favorite a week and a half ago, you're now one of the teams that people are saying, oh, well, maybe they're too soft. Maybe they're not the team that we all thought they were. Maybe their defense is soft. And that's just coming from Gilberto. But no, I definitely think that the Rams kind of need it, especially on Monday Night Football, after you got embarrassed in a sense with the Seahawks. I think in this game, you need to come out here and you need to smack them. And you need to be like, look, we're serious. We're coming out here. We're going to smack anybody who's in front of us. We still want that number 1 seed, but we're ready to play no matter where we are. It could be in Philly. It could be here. It could be there. Who cares? Just get us on the football field. I definitely think that I don't think McVay is going to go in there. Like, yeah, he'll go shake his hand, but I just don't think that you can go in there basically saying, hey, like, let me help rescue this guy out. Because by now, no offense to anybody, but by now the Falcons have already made their decision if they're going to fire him or not. I don't think it's because, and Vic, I think I don't know if it was with you that I spoke about it with. I can't remember who it was. But like with the Raiders right now, Pete Carroll, you don't tell that guy, hey, we need you to, we're going to fire you after the season. Why? Because Pete could just say, oh, you're going to fire me? All right, here's one for you. Stick my middle finger up, and I'm going to win these last 2 games and screw your draft pick up. So right now, they're not going to do that with him. Well, I mean, who cares about the draft pick, I guess, with him? But I definitely think that that the Falcons have already decided what they're going to do come Monday, January 3rd, 4th, or 5th.
Yeah,
they know what they're gonna do on Black Monday. So, but I definitely think that the Rams need to go in here. I think they need to smack the Falcons, and I think they need to show that they're one of the better teams in the NFL, and they're going to be forced to reckon with. So to be reckoned with, but But yeah, no, I definitely think that you want to get in there. You want to, because look, you accomplish two things: you smack the crap out of them, and then two, you improve your draft pick, which obviously nobody's thinking about the draft right now if you're the Rams, but still in the future that could be a really good pick because shit, the Rams could go corner in the first and both picks and end up getting really good firepower in their secondary. That's what they're missing in a sense is firepower in their secondary. I mean, who knows? Maybe Caleb Downs falls to them, and Caleb is the guy that they decide to make their franchise safety. And we've already seen how good Caleb is. I mean, Caleb could be a game changer for the
Is
Rams
he
on that.
the
Safety
secondary
out
guy
of
from Ohio State?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that kid's a killer. Like I was
Yeah.
watching him, and the dude just like he flies all over the field, and he picks the ball off, he takes heads off. So
Man, if the Rams get him, it's a
I
game
know.
changer for the Rams.
That's what I'm saying.
That's
Like
crazy.
Caleb could be a really good addition for them. But yeah, the Rams are. I'm sure Rams fans are pissed off at Tampa Bay for for letting the Falcons beat them. But and the Falcons are riding a 2-game win streak, so I'm sure they're feeling good about themselves. So yeah, Rams need to go in there and just smack them around.
Yeah, and the thing with the Falcons is, they're gonna have their other weapons offensively. You have Kirk Cousins now. He's kind of playing for next season. He wants to be a starter. We know that this is going to be Penix's team going forward because he's on a rookie contract, and so that's what you have to deal with, and it's a good. It's a really good I guess be able to see this really good offense in the Falcons as a good test as you go into the playoffs. Defensively, I think if you do see Raheem Morris get fired, Fernando, and I think it's a big reason why, and I was telling Gilbert this is like if you look at D'Amico Ryans and you look at other defensive coordinators turned head coaches, like the one thing you've seen from them is that the thing they were hired for, they're really good at, right? And with Raheem Morris, it's like, look, you have 2 years. You were given defensive players. We went up and traded for one of your guys, and yet you still are rated as one of the worst defenses in football. And so when you have that and you're a head coach like Jonathan Gannon, he was brought in to be a defensive guy and his defense sucks, they have every right to fire you. And so I think that's probably the way they'll go. And Arthur Blank, one of the things that I remember you talking about is if you have an older owner, they're going to be more impatient. They're not here to be patient because, hey, they want to see their team win before they die. So I'm with you there as well. So
and it's so morbid, but it's so true.
I'm sorry, but that's the reality. I mean, I'm not trying to sugarcoat
no. I've said it. I said it. So like, I agree, but it's just funny to hear that. But no, it is true. I mean, Jerry Jones, that's why he's so impatient. And Arthur Blank, I wonder what his conversation is like right now. And does he regret not going after Bill Belichick and putting in Raheem Morris? Man, look, I didn't think Bill Belichick was going to get a call at all, but now hearing more and more insiders are saying, hey, don't be surprised if one of these teams calls Bill and says, hey, what's up with that? But I wouldn't be surprised if Chris Shula got a head coaching gig and then Raheem Morris comes back.
This from ESG. He's like, this game is a trap for Chris Shula to be the next Falcons coach.
And then Raheem Morris comes back and is the defensive coordinator of the Rams next year.
Yep. And then they get so they got from Raheem Morris, they got a 3rd-round pick because he signed with the Falcons because he was a minority coach. They got a 1st-round pick out of him for getting him a defensive, and then they bring him back. I don't think they would bring him back though. I think he wants to probably bring in someone else would be my guess. Maybe. Because I think he's going to try to reshuffle both the defense if Chris Shula leaves. That is if. And I also wonder if Aubrey Pleasant gets a shot at being the defensive coordinator, their cornerbacks coach, because he's well loved in that room.
So it's the team that like the Chargers assistant general manager.
Yes.
If the Giants hire him as their GM, the Chargers get the 2 3rd-round draft picks. because they
Yes.
produced him. Okay.
Yeah, and the same thing happened with the Lions when the Rams GM, but it's because he's a minority. Like
Yeah.
Jay Gladstone went to the Jaguars. They don't get a draft pick for him.
Oh wow.
White.
Okay.
Sorry, I mean.
Yeah, you're good. You're good. I get it.
Yes.
Okay, awesome. But yeah, no, I definitely think that this is I mean, I just don't know what we're gonna get from Atlanta. Like, are they the team that all of a sudden Bijan, they're finally running Bijan, they're finally getting Kyle Pitts going. By the way, for Kyle Pitts, these next 2 games are crucial. Because I mean, who's his agent, Vic? David Molingetta. David's gonna try and get Kyle Pitts paid. Kyle knows he needs to get paid. And I think he's at right now. He is at 854 yards and 5 touchdowns.
So he needs about 150 to get to 1,000.
Yeah, exactly. Bijan's at 1250 with 6. Bijan should have way more touchdowns. The only problem is they give it to Algier in the red zone for some reason, and he's the one because he has 8 touchdowns. But how do you feel like the trades worked out? I mean, James Pierce is at 8.5 sacks this year. I mean, I would say that in a sense that's a pretty good. I mean, nobody's talking about James Pierce, and he has 8.5 sacks as a rookie. I was pretty impressed when I saw his numbers right now. So I'm sure the Falcons, as of right now, aren't like, oh, shooting themselves in the foot because they gave it up. I mean, the kid's been a good edge rusher. I feel like with a better defensive mind in there, I think they could get more out of him, maybe. And for the Falcons, yeah. So I don't know. It seems like it was a good trade.
No, it was a good trade for the Falcons. It's just the problem is that they haven't won enough. Like, and they were one of those teams that
they beat the Bills.
This should have been the year with the Buccaneers down. You should have won that division, and I think that's the biggest thing, and that's the biggest detriment as to why if they fire Raheem Morris, that's going to be the biggest thing. Fernando, I know you got to go, so we're gonna finish up here real quick. I wanna get just your I'll let you know here. The Rams are 7.5-point favorites. We talked about it on the betting show. Yeah, it's a big line for the Rams here, which I think the Rams are 11-4 against the spread this year, so they've been really good against the spread. And then the over-under is 49.5, which tells you that they're expecting a lot of points to be scored in this game, with both of these defenses kind of struggling lately, especially the Rams since they haven't had Quinn Lake. And so I said on the betting show that I think the Rams will win this game. I just think that the number is way too high. Like when I posted earlier in the week, it was 8 points. So I like the Rams here, but I like the Falcons to cover here, and I also like the over. But I just wanted to get your prediction here, Fernando. What do you have for this game? How do you see it going for this Monday night game between the Rams and the Falcons?
The Chargers are 9-6 against the spread. That's pretty funny.
Yeah,
to see like the 11.
Yeah, but it's been weird because of all the injuries. A lot of the time we talked about it is the fact that
well, Gilbert was the injuries,
the other teams have been favored. Like that Cowboys game, the Cowboys were favorite.
Yeah, 2.5? I was like, wow.
No, at one point it was 4.5, and it dropped to 2.5, which we were like, this is ridiculous. Like,
I think the Rams win. I think they're going to have a comfortable. It's going to be uncomfortable the first 2.5 quarters, and then I think the Rams kind of blow them out in the end. I think Kirk doesn't like pressure, and I think that they're going to pressure him a lot. I think they're going to force him into mistakes. Oh God, what's the corner 14? He's really funny. I can't remember.
Kobe Durant.
Kobe Durant. I spoke to him after the which game did he have the pick six?
That was against the Bucks.
Tampa Bay Bucks. So we were talking after the Tampa Bay Bucks game. That kid is funny. I'll say Kobe has a pick in this game. Also, I'll say. Do you give it like just say?
Yeah, like, I'll give you a score because I like the over in this game. Because it's 49.5. You want me to give you a score here?
Yeah. You give me a score
for everybody that's watching. Give us your score. We want to know how you have this game going. We already have here. Brian says indeed the Falcons are covering, and we have ESG says Seattle handled the Falcons with Cousins handling at Atlanta, so I expect us to do the same. I'll give you a
okay.
score here. I'll say it's 30-25 Rams.
I'll say 35 21 Rams.
Okay. Double
I
digit
think
win.
yeah, I think they're gonna go. I think this is gonna be a heavy dosage of Blake Corum and Kyron Williams. And I think those guys could have some big runs on Monday night. I think that's the one key, and that's the criticism that we give McVay is sometimes he doesn't like Jesse saying 41-20 Rams. I think McVay, the criticism on McVay sometimes is that he doesn't run the ball enough. I think this is a game where he kind of runs it down their throats and they get out of there with a good victory, especially leading up to that final game of the season.
Yeah, in the last point there, and I mentioned it to Tyler. I don't know if I talked to Eric about it, but the fact that LaFleur, Mike LaFleur, was doing the play calling against the Cardinals, and they had their highest rushing total in the last couple months. It tells you like that it was weird because we were like, man, they really ran the ball in this game. Come to find out, Mike LaFleur was doing the play calling because Sean McVay got sick. And then, then what do we get? Like they kind of went away from the run in that second half against the Seahawks.
He was in the booth, right?
That
was the one where was McVay in the sideline when he was sick?
No, he was in the sideline, but he got sick. And then so he flew like the day of
separately.
To the game.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, no, you know what? Jesse, if this is going to happen, if Puka gets another 200-yard game, then he better get another 200-yard game against the Arizona Cardinals because he'll be close to 2,000 yards.
Yeah.
I want to see him. I want to see somebody. I remember at first everybody's like, JSN's going to make it to 2,000. I'm like, no, he's not. Everybody always has a slowdown. Maybe Puka's actually heating up at the right time, and maybe he gets to the 200.
It's crazy. So, and last thing, I promise.
No, you're good.
Puka is getting closer to catching JSN when nobody thought that would happen.
Yeah.
And the same thing is happening with the rushing title. Remember how Jonathan Taylor was way ahead?
Yep.
James Cook either has caught him already or is about to catch him as well.
Let me
You can check me on that, but I'm pretty sure they're almost close.
Oh, it is Cook.
Yeah.
Cook's at 15, 15. Jonathan's at 14.
Yep.
And then there's a fat gap, and then it's Achin, Derrick Henry, Bijan, Javonte Williams.
Yeah, and I think the same thing's going to happen here with Puka. I think he's going to catch JSN, even though he missed a game this year.
Puka,
and I'm with Jesse too, because with no Devontae Adams,
he's 40 yards away.
Yeah. He's only 40 yards away. So there you go. And then the other thing too, no Devontae Adams. And so, Stafford likes to, when, I thought that was a blessing when Puka went out for that first game because they ran more 13 personnel. So, I mean, he needs 373 to break Calvin's record, which Stafford helped get, which is another reason I keep saying that Stafford belongs in the Hall of Fame because of all the records. He's got a Triple Crown winner. He's got a record for most yards. I mean, it's crazy, Fernando.
Oh, I had a Chargers fan get mad at me because on a radio show they asked me, who would you put, Stafford or Rivers? I said Stafford. They're like, really? I'm like, does he not have a Super Bowl ring? Well, yeah, he does. And I'm like, wasn't he the reason why they got that Super Bowl ring? Well, yeah. I'm like, well, then where's the conversation? Well, consistency, this, that. I was like, I don't care about consistency. Stafford didn't win his first playoff game until he was 13 years into the league. And then he's lit it up ever since he's gotten with Sean McVay. Sometimes you need to be with the correct coach.
Yeah, he's only lost one game in January. Was that game to the Eagles? If I missed, maybe I missed one, but that's the only one that I can think of. Is they made the playoffs last year. They didn't make it the year before, right?
Yeah, that was the Gilbert year?
Yeah, that was the Gilbert year, the 22.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think who else they lost to. Because they went on that run. I need to go back and look at stuff, especially as we get ready for the playoffs. I need to check his playoff record. All right, Fernando, thank you so much for joining us today. For pinch hitting for pinch hitting for Gilbert Manzano there, who's on vacation. You'll be joining
Oh, the
us. Oh yeah, they
Lions.
lost to the Lions. That's right.
Yeah.
Yep, I forgot about that.
Thank
Yep.
you, ESG.
Thank you, ESG. I forgot about that. Sorry, I got so many numbers in my head. I have to like computerize everything right away. So thank you for that, ESG. Yeah, and so we'll be back. I'll be in Oklahoma to do the post game show, and I'll have Fernando join me right after the game. I'll have everything ready to go for you guys, so we don't have to wait for Gilbert to write a story. We'll be able to jump right on and we'll talk in after that game. So thank you so much, Fernando, and you can get us out of here. Close us out here.
Yeah, everybody make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Make sure to tell other Rams fans about House of Horns, the work that Gilbert and Vic do on here. And also check out Compas on the Beat. We have a really good show. This week we have Eric D. Williams, as of right now, joining us on Tuesday. So make sure you guys tune into that. Guys, no Lunas Live on Monday. There's no Gilbert, so we're not doing Lunas Live, but the 4 Compas show will be electric. We Casa de Horns. I like that. I think this week with Black Monday on the horizon, we're gonna ask Eric if certain coaches are going to be fired or if they're going to be, or if they're going to stay. Who are the hot head coaching candidates, and could a certain 74, 75-year-old head coach with a 23-year-old girlfriend be making his way back to the NFL? We'll ask him all that. By the way, Vic, I don't know if you heard, we had Santa on What's Up Bolts, and Santa said that that Bill Belichick has been very naughty. so he was going to get Cole this year. So everybody, please make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Don't forget to join us on Tuesday and joining us on Monday after the Rams play the Falcons. So make sure you guys tune in, and definitely appreciate you guys. Have a great rest of your weekend, and I hope everybody has had a great holiday season. See you guys on Monday. Thank you guys.